Well, straight to the day's market action where the bulls made a strong comeback after losing for 8 straight sessions, backed by a strong last-hour rally as crude prices cooled off. Benchmark indices ended the day with gains of more than 1% each. Nifty reclaimed the 10,700 mark, while the Sensex rallied more than 400 points. The broader markets also followed suit, with Nifty Bank and Nifty Midcap ending 1% higher. Well, here's the day's top story. It's a setback coming in for Reliance Communications chairman Anil Ambani. The Supreme Court has held him guilty of contempt of court in the Ericsson case and has ordered Reliance Communications to pay up 450 crore rupees to Ericsson within 4 weeks' time, failing which Anil Ambani will be sent to jail for 3 months. Now, according to the Apex Court, let's keep in mind that this dispute goes back to the year 2018. There was a payment dispute between the two sides. They agreed to settle that payment dispute of 1,600 crore rupees for an amount of 550. Reliance Communications agreed to pay that amount of 550 crore rupees to settle this entire dispute. And in pursuit of that, in the month of May of 2018, we understand that RCom as well as 2 other ADAG companies had submitted an undertaking which wasn't linked to any deal that was going through. In fact, that changed just a couple of months later in the month of August. Again, the same three companies gave an undertaking, this time before the Apex Court. The one change they made, however, is that this payment of 550 crore rupees was then linked to the Reliance Jio deal. Now, given as how we are all aware, the Reliance Jio deal did not fructify, RCom then had argued before the Apex Court that there is no question of payment arising. Now, what we understand is that the Apex Court has taken objection to that. The Apex Court made its position quite clear that it appears from their conduct that they've been very cavalier. In fact, the Apex Court also records how, before the court, RCom records that they are not able to pay, that it's impossible to pay that amount of 550 crore rupees. However, parallel to this case, the Supreme Court records as a part of its judgment that RCom issued a letter to Ericsson saying that if Ericsson withdraws the arbitration and contempt proceedings, they will make that payment. So on the back of all of these inconsistencies, the Apex Court essentially held that this undertaking had been false, that they've misled the court, and on the back of that upheld the charges of contempt, and with that have also slipped in that important clause that to purge this contempt, the only way possible is for Reliance Communications to pay that sum of 450 crore rupees, failing which Anil Ambani will head straight to jail. So some really sharp words coming in as far as the Apex Court is concerned. In fact, we reached out to a number of counsels, a number of top legal eagles of our country to get a sense of what they make of this judgment, what the implications could be. In fact, let's take a look at what they had to say.
The important point is that the Reliance Communication has also been held in contempt, and they have been directed to pay this amount of money. So if Reliance cannot pay on the ground that it is already in the NCLT and there are liquidation proceedings are going to begin, they will have to bring in the money into this company. There is no other solution, because Anil Ambani cannot settle out of court and now say that I will pay on behalf of Reliance Communication unless the court then, revises its order. Therefore, the company will have to be funded.
Okay.
And the only way it can be funded is by Anil Ambani bringing it money from his own pocket.
Contempt is for actually willful disobedience. And we all know that the company has got into insolvency. They have approached courts multiple times that they are not able to complete the transaction with Reliance. So there was actually a real difficulty, a commercial difficulty. And Supreme Court actually earlier also, few years back also had said very clearly that if there is a contempt proceeding, but there is a serious difficulty, then the contempt proceedings are not maintainable.
So no way out for Anil Ambani, has to cough up that amount of 450 crore rupees, again, within 4 weeks' time, failing which he will be facing a jail term of 3 months. Let's shift focus now to the other big corporate story of the day. Sajjan Jindal's JSW has ruled out a joint bid to acquire Essar Steel with Vedanta. Now, this comes a day after Vedanta issued a similar denial. However, in a statement to CNBC TV18, Sajjan Jindal reiterated his support for the Ruyas of Essar and went on to say that JSW is ready to buy a 26% stake in Essar Steel if the Ruyas manage to pull the company out of insolvency proceedings. Ritu Singh, who has been tracking that story for us, gets us more details. Ritu.
A fresh twist in the case of Essar Steel's insolvency case, where, do remember, it is no secret that Jindals have always been very keen to acquire Essar Steel under the bankruptcy process and had tried bidding for the company along with the New Metal Consortium in the first round, where their bid was then rejected by the Supreme Court for not paying up the dues of Essar Group companies. Now we're given to understand, in the light of various reports that have emerged, that the Jindals may try to attempt a fresh bid for Essar Steel. We reached out to Sajjan Jindal himself, who has clarified to cnbc TV 18 that at this point of time, JSW Group is not looking to make any fresh bid, either independently or with Vedanta or any other partner, to acquire Essar Steel. But, and this is very important, the clarification that they've made is this: in the event that the lenders and the courts accept Ruya's settlement offer for the company to withdraw it from insolvency under Section 12A by offering to pay 54,000 crore rupees to the creditors, in the event that proposal is accepted by the courts and the banks, the Jindals are ready to support the Ruyas by offering to take up as much as 26% stake in the company. So, very important statement coming in from Sajjan Jindal himself, that they will back the Ruyas in case their bid is admitted. But for now, no fresh bid will be made by the Jindals to acquire Essar Steel.
Right, Ritu, for that, but staying with the Essar Group, Aslam Mittal is believed to be in talks with the Essar Group, but Spar Report has also tells cnbc TV 18 that Aslam Mittal is keen on acquiring Essar's Hazira Port and Hazira and Mahan power units. Now remember, Essar Steel draws 600 megawatt power supply from Hazira and Mahan power units. Sources also suggest that even as Essar Group wants Aslam Mittal to buy these power units, and it is in talks with lenders to release guarantees. However, the two sides haven't reached an agreement on the asset valuation as of yet. Well, CNBC TV 18 Newsbreak confirmed the government has approved the recapitalization of 12 public sector banks to the tune of 48,000 crore rupees. In this round of recapitalization, Corporation Bank and Allahabad Bank are getting a lion's share of the funds to exit the prompt corrective action framework. Now, Sapna Das joins in with all the latest details. Sapna, let's break down these numbers. 48,000 crore rupees, that's a big sum. Who's getting and how much?
Well, the policy direction and the objective of the recapitalization plan for public sector banks, that policy direction on the part of the government is extremely clear. 4 major categories of banks that the government is looking at now, and if you look at this 48,000 crores worth of tranche that has just come in for PSBs, here the major share is going to those banks which are expected to come out of the PCA framework, namely Allahabad Bank and Corporation Bank. The second category that the government has also taken care of is those banks which have come out but need to continue to remain strong. So basically, Bank of India and Bank of Maharashtra. Interestingly enough, Oriental Bank of Commerce is not part of that list. The third would be the non-PCA banks. However, they are in breach of the PCA 1 threshold, namely Punjab National Bank, Andhra Bank, Syndicate Bank and Union Bank. So to prevent these banks from going into PCA, again the recapitalization is being given. The last category contains those banks which will continue to be in the PCA framework for some time, namely UCO, United, IOB and Central Bank. Here again recapitalization has been given. Over 1 lakh crore worth of capital infusion has already happened in FY19. Apart from this, the government is also keeping a buffer of around 5,000 odd crores for any unforeseen contingency or probably as growth capital for the amalgamated entity of Bank of Baroda.
Well, let's your focus now. IT industry body NASSCOM has done away with its annual industry guidance. The decision was announced earlier today at the ongoing NASSCOM Technology and Leadership Forum 2019. Kritika Saxena and Mugdha Varia report on the mood and the key takeaways from the gathering of India's top IT CEOs.
In a huge break from tradition, NASSCOM has stopped giving guidance for FY20, and the reason is clear. The kind of uncertainties that are prevalent in the global economic environment are large, and as a result of that, NASSCOM believes that giving a guidance is no longer a clear picture about outlook. Hence, NASSCOM is now going to be releasing CEO surveys. So for FY19, the industry has done better than expected. NASSCOM had guidance 7 to 9% and the growth has been 9.2%. But as far as the outlook is concerned, the CEO survey finds that 51% CEOs believe that 2019 will be either just like 2018 in terms of performance or marginally lesser, and 49% believe that it could be slightly better.
the way we've measured success is totally changing. So in the past, we have used a certain way to look at what success is and therefore make the projections in terms of guidance. And I just feel that that is not apt anymore. That is not right anymore. So that's the reason we are not doing what we did in the past. What we are now looking at is trying to understand the right way to predict the future.
I think we're just pointing out that the macroeconomic environment, one doesn't know how it will pan out. The US is going to grow slower this year compared to last year, as we talked about. The uncertainty on Brexit, the uncertainty on the growth of continental Europe, and those are scenarios that companies have to deal with and prepare for.
We expect to continue to grow at a good speed above the market. 5.5% to 8% of growth. We continue to improve our margins. We expect to be close or hit our midterm guidance in terms of profitability. So yes, we continue to stay bullish for 2019 as well.
Society impact of AI is very, very high, and therefore we are passionately working on it. On organizations, both as customers and users of AI capabilities, but also as a new area of opportunity. We today have 3,000 cloud-ready partners in the country. Now these are 3,000 companies who are helping do business in the cloud. That means more jobs, that means more entrepreneurship, that just means a different way of doing things.
It is evident that Indian IT is bracing for tough times. All players are working hard to reskill and invest in preparing for the uncertain times around the corner. In Mumbai with Kritika Saxena, Mugdha Warrior.
Now, the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman is in India. Prime Minister Modi held bilateral talks with the Crown Prince, and both leaders addressed a joint press conference today. Prime Minister Modi raised the issue of Pulwama attack and called terrorism a threat to humanity. Meanwhile, the Saudi Crown Prince did not mention Pulwama attack or Pakistan by name, but he did say that terrorism is a common concern and Saudi will cooperate with India in every possible way to fight them.
पुलवामा में हुआ बर्बर आतंकवादी हमला इस मानवता विरोधी खतरे से दुनिया पर छाए कहर की एक और क्रूर निशानी है। इस खतरे से प्रभावशाली ढंग से निपटने के लिए हम इस बात पर सहमत हैं कि आतंकवाद को किसी भी प्रकार का समर्थन दे रहे देशों पर सभी संभव दबाव बढ़ाने की आवश्यकता है। अतिवाद के खिलाफ सहयोग और इसके लिए एक मजबूत कार्य योजना की भी जरूरत है। मुझे खुशी है कि सऊदी अरब और भारत इस बारे में साझा विचार रखते हैं।
टेररिज्म की बात है जो हमारे कॉमन कंसर्न है। हम ये बात बताना चाहते हैं भारत को बताना चाहते हैं कि हम आपके साथ हर तरह का कोऑपरेशन करेंगे, चाहे वो इंटेलिजेंस शेयर ही हो, और न सिर्फ भारत बल्कि सारे जो हमारे आसपास हैं सबके साथ मिलकर काम करेंगे, जो हमारे आने वाली पीढ़ियों के लिए भविष्य रोशन भविष्य को सिक्योर करेंगे। हम आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करते हैं, आपने जो पॉजिटिव रोल प्ले किया है।
Well, staying in news about the visit, India and Saudi Arabia also signed 5 MOUs to strengthen the business relationship. Saudi Aramco is also in talks with Reliance Industries and others to invest in India. Anshu Sharma is here to wrap up the business outcomes of the Crown Prince's visit.
Here at the Saudi-India Forum, the mood is upbeat from Saudi Arab, which says that the sky is the limit for investment. It's looking for synergy not only for crude oil supply as marketer, but also synergies in manufacturing, power, healthcare, education and skill development.
Sky is the limit, and I don't like limiting partnerships. You know, the leadership of both countries are here today forging a new chapter, building on deeply rooted bilateral trade. So why to limit it? Saudi Arabia is not just looking about the value or the money. We're looking for the expertise and the skills that India can bring and help us enrich and help us diversify the economy.
Despite challenges to land acquisition for the mega refinery in India, where Saudi Aramco and ADNOC are partners, Saudi Aramco is quite upbeat and optimistic on its investment in the mega refinery.
We remain positive on our investment in India. We are working with our partners who are assuring us that things are progressing well. So we are very optimistic. We are looking at other opportunities. India, as I said, is an investment priority for Saudi Aramco. There is a lot of growth potential. I highlighted a lot of the growth potential in India. And we are looking at additional investment in India. So we are in discussion with other companies as well.
Including Reliance
including Reliance and others.
After December decision of OPEC to cut 1.2 million barrels per day, OPEC's partner Saudi Arab says that it will soon consult and calibrate supply decisions.
We will consult and we will calibrate our supply plans for the second half of the year. So April will be an important line post on the journey for market stability.
Well, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley adjourned the 33rd meeting of the GST Council to the 24th of February as some opposition ruled states sought a physical meeting. Now, the finance ministers of these states have argued that decisions on crucial issues like real estate and lottery should not be taken at a meeting held through video conferencing. In fact, Delhi's Finance Minister Manish Sisodia said that there were some major disagreements on both these issues within the council. Well, news now coming in from Bangalore. The Aero India show kicked off today under the shadow of the tragic death of Surya Kiran pilot Wing Commander Sahil Gandhi yesterday. Now, a flypast was conducted by a Jaguar, Tejas and Sukhoi 30 aircraft in the missing man formation in his honour. Now, several aircraft are on display at the show, including the indigenous Tejas fighter, Sukhoi Su-30, Rafale, the Lockheed Martin F-16 Fighting Falcon and the FA-18 Super Hornet. Now, the CEOs of Airbus and Lockheed Martin were also present. They spoke to CNBC TV18 about their India plans. Let's take a look.
Last year, we delivered 67 aircraft. These are A320neos and 321neos. And this year, we expect to have some phenomenal deliveries. We're hoping to deliver more than one aircraft a week. The Pratt & Whitney geared turbofan engine is a brand new designed engine. And I'm really pleased to tell you that we've made significant progress on this. The reliability rate right now of the aircraft with those engines in India have touched 99.6%. In the last 12 months, we worked very, very closely with the engine manufacturer, with the regulatory authorities, with the airlines, and multiple other partners. In the last 12 months, we have reduced the issues because of our issue resolution by 4x. Right now, we have retrofit most of the engines of the Neo fleet. If there were any issues, 95% of the aircraft have been retrofit, and in the next 2 months, we will reach 100%.
So it's an all-new aircraft, and I think in the Indian context, for Tata being our strategic partner, we look forward to having this unique configuration only for India. The F-16 is the lowest cost single-engine aircraft there is. Much lower, 30 to 40% lower than twin-engine aircraft. And as you correctly say, it's not only the acquisition cost, it's the life cycle costs and the operational costs that matter. And I think this is the most competitive offer there is.
Well, with that, it's a wrap on this edition of What's Hot. Thank you so much for watching. But up next, Sensex and Nifty snapped an 8-day losing streak where Nifty reclaimed 10,700 while the Sensex surged over 400 points. Markets today talk back. We'll take the action forward.